All right. Even before I go any further, I couldn't help but notice two things. One, the Perfect Storm Mike McCloud has the Grand Prix Pure Wrestling Championship. And number two, he's come out to ringside with you. Now, I can go ahead and answer the first one. The first thing is, the rising star Bryce Anthony was supposed to meet Mike McCloud for the championship here tonight, but was injured by Crunk and is unable to compete here tonight. Therefore, it was decided by Southern Wrestling Association officials that he would be presented the heavyweight championship because he made it to the finals of the tournament.
I'm the pure champion here tonight.
He is known as the Grand Prix Pure Wrestling Champion. That I can't explain. So why is he out here with you? I'll take care of that. As you know, just as you stated, Bryce Anthony was hurt by Crunk and his actions that took place last show. Now, with that, I got his assist of his acquisition to the Mayhem Mafia. Mike McCloud to the Mayhem Mafia. Absolutely.
Okay, that's fine. He's awarded the title. Okay. Tonight is Night of the Champions. No. Since you're a champion, you're going to defend your title here tonight. Yes, he is. The Flyers said the title would be defended. It would be awarded to somebody tonight. So he's going to defend that title. We have an opponent in the back. We have an opponent in the back that I'm more than sure can wrestle to his quality of wrestling. Chris Hamrick.
Oh, there you go, folks. There is Mike McCloud's opponent for the night. Will be Chris Hamrick. And Mike McCloud does not like it very much at all.
Stand up. Stand up. We got him.
Ivan with his new member of the Mayhem Mafia.
Everybody knows what this is. It's the Robber Cup. I want to assure everybody that this is going home with the Mayhem Mafia tonight. Tonight. Absolutely. Now, one other thing that I got to address is Crunk. Crunk. I need to talk to him.
Oh, and here's Crunk. Here's Crunk. We heard Ivan talking about the attack. The attack on Bryce Anthony that Crunk pulled off.
You gotta admit, what you did at the last show was totally uncalled for. You, sir, are a menace. You're a menace. Now, Mr. Commissioner, you need to tell him his services as a wrestler are no longer needed with the SWA. He is a menace. He's done. Besides, he's not stupid enough to get up in here with us.
Oh, the challenge being thrown out. Challenge being thrown out to Crunk. Oh, and Crunk and Thug are headed into the ring. With Mike McCloud and security in the ring now. Marshall Simmons and Mike McCloud have stepped out to the outside of the ring now. Security is in. You want to know
what I'm going to do? I tell you what. I will be watching this entire show tonight. I will make my decision at the end of the show as to what to do with Crunk. Crunk, I'm asking you right now, behave tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Crunk and Thug. Ladies and gentlemen, our opening contest is a quarterfinal match in the 6th annual Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament, and it is scheduled for one fall. Introducing team number 1 at a total combined weight of 378 pounds, the team of Dr. Dread and Kendall Slayer. Their opponent at a total combined weight of 420 pounds, Rick Hart and the Bourbon Street Saint Wicked, the Carolina Connection!
And here we go, folks. Set to start off the Reimer Cup Tag Team Championship, or Tag Team Tournament, excuse me. We're starting off with the Carolina Connection versus Kendall Slayer and Wicked. And I'd like to welcome Brett Wolverton into the announce booth with me.
Tim, it's a pleasure to be here at the 6th annual Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament. Great way to start off the tournament with the Carolina Connection and the unproven team, I guess, of Kendall Slayer and Dr. Dread.
Yes, Kendall Slayer is a rookie. This will be his second match, and Dr. Dread is, as you would say, a man of mystery.
I know absolutely nothing about Dread coming into tonight's show.
He's a little unorthodox, a little hard to describe would be the best way. You can see a bit of his antics here on the ring apron. Not real sure that the elevator goes all the way to the top.
Probably not.
And this may be a bad choice of a partner for Kendall Slayer, but maybe a rookie mistake. But as you see here, Rick Hart and Kendall tied up in the ring. He tags in Wicked. And Kendall deciding to
make the tag.
Bring in Dr. Dread. We'll see now what's going to happen.
Well, so shot to the face by Wicked. Has him in the corner.
The Wicked may not be the best guy to try to act a little crazy with. Oh, big power slam from Wicked onto Dr. Dread.
We made mention about this being the second match for Kendall Slayer. Rick Hart was just voted at our last show the Rookie of the Year for last year.
That is true. That is true. He has just passed his rookie year. Kendall Slayer back in the ring against Wicked. The nice takeover. We do know that Kendall Slayer was an amateur wrestler in college.
He's showing some of his skills here against Wicked. Up and over, continues to maintain that. Can't quite tell exactly.
Wicked has made the ropes.
He's got locked on. Wicked is in the ropes.
That will break it up, but he did have complete control of Wicked there, showing his amateur skills.
Tag made back to Rick Hart in there now with Kendall Slayer.
Collar and elbow tie up. Jockeying for position, Rick Hart brings it down into a side headlock. Whips him off in the ropes.
Sweeps the legs out from him.
Down for a pin, 1, 2. And Rick Hart gets the kick out for the 3 count. Bringing him back up.
Takes him into the corner.
Couple of elbow shots. Whipping him over into the other corner and following him
after him. Big splash in the corner.
Kendall Slayer is taking control of Rick Hart here. Rick looks a little winded after that big splash in the corner, kind of knocked the breath out of him. Bringing him out of the corner, up and over for arm drag. Not sure what. Clothesline takedown.
Did you see he followed him down with that clothesline, added the extra impact of his own body weight on top of Rick Hart.
Both men seem a little winded, maybe a little, maybe knocked the wind out of both of them. Trying to make it to their corners for the tag. There's the tag to Wicked, and there's the tag to Dr. Dread. Here they come in.
Ducks the clothesline.
Kick to the stomach.
Ties him up with a neck breaker.
Oh! Side effect.
1, 2, 3.
And there's the winner of the match. The opening contest in the Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament is the Carolina Connection, Wicked, and Rick Hart.
Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament continues. I'd like to bring in another team at this point that's in tonight's tournament. It's Drowning in Excellence, Dustin Michaels and Vincent Chambers. Guys, if you can make your way in here. You guys are making your debuts here at Southern Wrestling Association tonight. Your opponents, Jamie Lee and Shea McGrady, have not seen you guys in action yet. Do you guys think this gives you an advantage against Jamie Lee and Shea?
Well, you see, we came to SWA to make an impact. And tonight we're going to make an example out of Shea McGrady and Jamie Lee. Because Drowning in Excellence came in to dominate this tournament, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So,
all right, guys. Best of luck to you tonight in the Tag Team Tournament. This is Drowning in Excellence, another great team here in the Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament.
Excellence has left the building.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following quarterfinal contest in the 6th Annual Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, standing out on the floor at a total combined weight of 285 pounds, Dustin Michaels, Vincent Chambers. Together they are Drowning in Excellence! Their opponents, at a total combined weight of 312 pounds, Shea McGrady and the Southern Wrestling Association Southern States Champion, Jamie Lee!
All right, here we go, fans. The second match of the night will be Jamie Lee and Shea McGrady versus the team of Drowning in Excellence, Vincent Chambers and Dustin Michaels. And Jamie Lee is running after Josh Cash, giving him the business there, as you would say. Trying to decide who's going to start this match, him or Shea.
Tim, this is definitely going to be one of the faster-paced matches on the at least the quarterfinals of this tournament. Shea McGrady, Jamie Lee, neither of them had partners coming into the tournament, so they decided to team up here tonight.
It makes a lot of sense because they are both some of the best cruiserweights you're going to see that have ever been in SWA. Then across from them we have Drowning in Excellence, two guys who are newcomers to SWA.
And making their first appearance, and what better way to make an impact in Southern Wrestling Association than by taking the Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament.
That is the top. If you are a tag team, that has to be what your goal is the Tag Team Championship and the Reimer Cup. Shea in there with Dustin Michaels, going behind with a hammerlock and a little bit of the ponytail, it looks.
Back into the side headlock. Goes around, waist lock from behind.
Waist lock and a takeover from Dustin Michaels. Referee Josh Cash right on top of the action. Dustin Michaels doing a couple of reversals. Still staying in that headlock.
I think it's obvious Shea McGrady and Jamie Lee are the crowd favorites for this second match here in the tournament.
Yes, they are very popular, and with Drowning in Excellence being a new team, it would be hard for the crowd to get behind them because they don't know them. Big shoulder block, taking Shea McGrady down. Arm drag. Shea measuring up for another arm drag. And a standing enziguri from Shea McGrady on to Dustin Michaels and a kick out on two.
If I were Dustin Michaels, I'd be going for the tag at this point.
He does need to get over. There's the tag from Shea.
Just as quickly as I say that, Jamie Lee tags in.
Jamie Lee and Shea McGrady both are no strangers to tag team wrestling. They may have not tagged with each other before, but they are no strangers to tag team wrestling. Jamie Lee with big arm drag on Dustin Michaels, and Dustin Michaels is being thrown around. They kick to the back of the head from Shea McGrady. He does need to make a tag to his partner, Vincent Chambers. Jamie Lee shoots him across. Drops down. And a drop kick takes down Dustin Michaels.
Picture perfect drop kick by Jamie Lee. Goes for the
There's
cover.
the pin. 1, 2, and Vincent Chambers breaks it up. Referee Josh Cash admonishing Vincent Chambers and telling him to stay out. Shea McGrady now back into the ring. Kick to the chest on Dustin Michaels.
Come over right above us now.
Ahead to the turnbuckle. And a chop.
Tim, I have to say, we've got the best seats in the house for tonight's tag team
Absolutely.
tournament.
Maybe a little too close to the action. As Shea gets turned around back into the turnbuckle himself, and a little payback for those chops. Dustin Michaels shoots him across and follows him in.
Oh!
And kick to the side of the face from Dustin Michaels. And that will loosen your teeth.
Yeah, that'll shift the jaw in a heartbeat.
He's going for the pin. 1, 2. Shea kicks out at 2. Seems like the momentum may have shifted back towards Dustin Michaels. Shea ducks a clothesline and comes back with a back elbow. Fast and furious action going on here. Shea now makes the tag back to Jamie Lee. Delivers a vicious punch to the ribs.
Went to the eyes.
Is that a rake of the eyes? My view was a little blocked. Apparently maybe the referees was as well. Now Dustin Michaels gets the tag to Vincent Chambers.
First chance we've had to see Chambers in this match.
Double chop to the back and a double drop kick to Jamie Lee's head. Here's a pin. 1, 2, and Jamie Lee kicks out at 2.
Only a 2.
Vincent Chambers choking with his leg across Jamie Lee's throat. And Josh Cash is holding Shea back from getting into the ring, while Vincent Chambers is administering a choke.
It's got Jamie Lee up against the ropes.
Shooting him across. And a drop kick. These guys definitely have some high-flying skills. This team of Drowning in Excellence.
Choking him on the ropes. Going for the advantage.
And Josh Cash able to back him off. Once again, Josh Cash's back is turned, and Dustin Michaels taking advantage.
Taking full advantage of the distraction by his tag team partner. No tag made by Drowning in Excellence, but they've switched off in the ring.
Double slingshot suplex. Oh no, they just hung him up on the top rope. Now what's coming? Kick to both sides of his head.
Leaves him straddled on that top rope. He finally flips over.
Dustin Michaels with a leg drop across his throat. Jamie Lee is now the one that needs to make a tag himself. And there's the revolution from Jamie Lee on to Dustin Michaels.
Dustin Michaels is down. Jamie Lee looking to make the tag.
Both men desperately need to make the tag. Jamie Lee is over towards his corner.
Looks like Dustin Michaels tries. He stops the tag.
He got him before he could make the tag and delivers a boot to the head. And there's the tag to Vincent Chambers.
They're continuing to work on the head of Jamie Lee. Too many shots to the head. He's not going to be able to continue this match.
Continuous shots to the head. He's taking kicks to the chest. Oh, he caught that one and brought a punch back to the midsection, maybe low midsection. Takes him over in a body slam. And Jamie Lee is going to the top rope. Corkscrew moonsault, no one home. Vincent Chambers was able to move out of the way of the corkscrew moonsault.
I said this could be one of the fastest paced matches of the night. So far I've been proven right.
It has lived up to that. Both men trying to make their way to their corner for the tag. There's the tag to Dustin Michaels. There's the tag to McGrady. McGrady taking both men down.
Shea's taking everybody out. I thought he was going to take a shot at Josh Cash there.
Shoots him in. Like the clothesline. Reversal. Kick to the back.
What the? Wraps him up. Kick, super kick.
A combination super kick backcracker has got Shea McGrady down. There's a pin 1, 2, and Jamie Lee makes the save.
Makes the save just in time.
That was a very impressive coordinated move.
Ducks the
clothesline ducked. Jamie Lee delivering a kick to Vincent Chambers. It looks like a backslide.
This could be that gory
This
bomb.
is the Ritalin bomb. Looks like he's setting up for the Ritalin bomb. Now McGrady has Vincent Chambers. Double team move on both members of Drowning in Excellence. There's the double pin. 1, 2, and 3. And there is your winner, Jamie Lee and Shea McGrady, advancing in the Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament.
Sixth annual Reimer Cup, Forest City, North Carolina, 2008. Boomer and Dookie coming into SWA, and we're going to take the World Tag Team titles. It reminds me of that time in world history when Mark Alexander busts into the tent of Cleopatra and says, "I ain't here to talk." We're not here to talk. We're here to beat people up. 6th annual Reimer Cup, coming to the Payne family.
All right, we're here backstage. It's the 6th annual Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament. At this time, I'd like to bring in one of the top teams that's involved in tonight's tournament. It's the Old School Express. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring in Ethan Case and the SWA World Heavyweight Champion, BJ Hancock. Guys, it's a Reimer Cup Tag Tournament. You've got a 1 in 8 shot of winning. What are your thoughts on the tournament?
A 1 in 8 shot.
There's 7 other teams in the tournament.
But we are 2 SWA World Champions. He's a former champion. How many times? Once?
Once.
Yes.
And Grand Prix Pure Wrestling Champion.
Anyway, so tonight in the Reimer Cup, I think we got at least a 3 in 8 chance, 4 in 8 chance. And we got an 8 in 8 chance. Makes sense, right?
So you're going to walk out the world champ and tag team champ?
Yes, going all around, baby. So, in the first round, we're facing Boomer and Dookie Payne. 2 guys that are very well known in the Carolina indie scene. 2 guys that, honestly, are going to be tough to beat. But also 2 guys that are no match for us. Ethan?
Brett, if you don't mind stepping right over there for me. Tonight, Forest City is going to see why the spotlight is on the Old School Express. You see, I drove all the way up here tonight to the Armory, and I stepped in the building. When I stepped in the building, I looked at BJ, I said, "BJ, tonight is our night to shine." I'm wearing a 3-piece suit, and I got cold chills all over my body because tonight is the night I become a Triple Crown winner, and we leave the SWA World Tag Team Champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following quarterfinal match in the 6th annual Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at a total combined weight of 479 pounds, the team of Boomer and Dookie Payne. Their opponents, at a total combined weight of 388 pounds, Sweet Ethan Case and the Southern Wrestling Association World Heavyweight Champion, handsome BJ Hancock, the Old School Express!
All right, here we go, fans. You heard the introductions. It's the SWA Heavyweight Champion, BJ Hancock and Ethan Case, taking on the team of Boomer and Dookie. Once again, 2 newcomers to SWA. Looks like BJ Hancock will start out for looks like BJ Hancock will start out for his team. And I assume Boomer will start out for his team. It seems to be a little conflict here. There we go. Okay, now Dookie is making his way out to the ring apron, and Boomer will start.
Tim, I have to say I'm a little surprised to see Happy Days refereeing this tag team match. We've had a lot of issues with him in the past.
It has been a while.
Apparently he's been given a second chance here at SWA, and what better time, I guess, to prove himself in this tournament.
I guess Tigers can change their stripes, hopefully. But it has been a while for Happy Days. So Ethan, okay, now Ethan makes his way back up to the ring apron. Boomer and Dookie having a little quick strategy session, I'll assume. Now we may actually start this match.
I can't help but notice the shirt that Ethan Case is wearing, an homage to B.J. Hancock's former tag team of Rise and Cock partner Derek Rise. He's added his own name to the bottom of the shirt.
So it's Rise and Cock and Case.
N Case.
Yes. Getting the crowd into it. It's capacity crowd here at the National Guard Armory in Forest City, North Carolina.
Then this should give you an idea just how important this tag team tournament is, that the Southern States champion Jamie Lee was involved with it, and now our world heavyweight champion is as well.
And Jamie Lee, the Southern States champion, has already advanced into the next round. And we have yet to have a lockup here between B.J. Hancock, and now we go. Collar and elbow tie up in the middle of the ring. And Boomer working the arm wringer on B.J. Hancock.
The winner of this match will meet the winner of our opening contest between the Carolina Connection, the Carolina Connection, and the winners of our next bout, which will be Rocky Starr and Darkness against the Mayhem Mafia, will face the winners of this contest here.
Yes.
Will face Jamie Lee and Shea McGrady. I'm so excited tonight. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Now the arm wringer has been reversed.
The referee's asking him if he gives up. He's saying no. The crowd's saying yes.
Very loudly and boisterously are saying yes. But Boomer still says no. Ethan Case still continuing the pressure.
B.J. Hancock getting involved with it too.
I'm not sure if that's a legal tag, but
they're going to allow it.
I guess a foot to hand tag is legal. And the pressure is still on that arm and shoulder of Boomer Payne. And B.J. Hancock, the SWA heavyweight champion. There's another.
I don't think the ref quite saw it.
Case off of the top rope.
Goes back to the arm.
Right back to the arm.
I think this is doing more in just frustrating Boomer than it is anything.
I think that is. It may very well be part of a psychological game on Boomer. Boomer still saying no. The crowd's still saying yes. Trying to make a tag to Dookie.
Almost made this tag.
Dragging him back. Ethan Case dragging him back towards his partner B.J. Hancock. And an elbow to Boomer Payne's elbow. And continuing the pressure on the elbow and the shoulder of Boomer Payne. And there's a tag to B.J. Hancock.
An interesting little history note about the Old School Express. Last year in the 5th annual Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament, these two men faced each other. It was Ethan Case and Shea McGrady against B.J. Hancock and Derek Rise.
Yes, and there would be the aforementioned Rise and Cock.
Exactly.
There's a pin, and
I'm not 100% sure, but I think Ethan Case and B.J. Hancock forgot who was the legal man.
I know I did.
Seemed to be a little bit of a miscommunication there by the Old School Express.
And back to the arm wringer on Boomer Payne.
I think the Old School Express is looking to pull into station tonight with the World Tag Team titles.
And now the arm wringer reversed. Now reversed on to B.J. Hancock. Boomer continuing the pressure. B.J. trying to work his way up. And gets it reversed onto Boomer Payne. Now tag made to Ethan Case. Case back into the ring. Shoot Boomer across, and a double elbow takes Boomer down. Here's a pin. 1, 2, and both the kick out and Dookie came in to save that.
Dookie could only take so much of his partner getting abused that he had to come in and try to help.
Boomer back in the corner. Here comes Ethan Case.
Up.
And Boomer moves.
Oh.
And Ethan Case crotches himself on the second turnbuckle. Now, Dookie in the ring and applies a little more pressure to that area.
Low looked a little low to me.
It looked a lot low to me. Dookie continuing.
Okay, that was just obvious.
That was pretty obvious, but Happy Days did stop it. Now,
no tag made.
Another phantom tag from Dookie and Boomer, and then a headbutt to the nether regions of Ethan Case.
We should be dragging him towards our corner over here.
Dragging him back over
I don't like this.
I'm not liking this much
a little too
at
close
all.
to the action right now. Oh, no.
Boomer Payne.
Can we get some ice out here?
Boomer Payne splitting Ethan Case in half on the ring post. And back in for a pin. 1, 2.
Were those wedding bells I heard? I mean, what was...
Something was ringing. I don't know if it was wedding bells. And now it's a tag back to Dookie. He's back in the ring. Shooting Case back into the corner. Whipping Boomer in. Case is able to move.
Lands in again. Oh, tackles his partner. That man down. Oh, no. Oh!
That's just unfortunate.
Ouch.
That's just unfortunate. There's
Tim,
no
what
other
can
way
you say to that?
It's just unfortunate.
Ethan Case struggling to get to the tag. Can he do it?
Dookie stops him.
Kick. Tries it again.
Now Boomer has a hold of him.
Enziguri
to the back of the head of Boomer Payne. Now gets over to BJ Hancock.
Shades of Ricky Morton there by Ethan Case to make the tag. Clothesline by the world champ. Back elbow.
BJ Hancock. They have both men back in the turnbuckles going up for the 10 punch. Oh, low blow from both men. Now you have
Dookie and Boomer taking the advantage. Go for a whip. Do-si-do. Schoolboys.
Schoolboys, double schoolboys. 1, 2, and 3. And Ethan Case and BJ Hancock able to pull out the victory. And there are your winners, BJ Hancock and Ethan Case, the Old School Express.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the quarterfinal match in the 6th annual Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament, and it is scheduled for one fall. Introducing team number 1, accompanied to the ring by Ivan M. Righteous, at a total combined weight of 458 pounds, Mr. Honesty, James Drake, Marshall Simmons. They are the Mayhem Mafia! Their opponents, at a total combined weight of 340 pounds, the team of Darkness and Rocky Xavier Starr!
Okay, here we go for the quarterfinal match. We'll have Rocky Xavier Starr, and Darkness versus the Mayhem Mafia, the Black Hand of the Mayhem Mafia, Mr. Honesty, James Drake, and Marshall Simmons. Looks like James Drake will start out with Darkness here. Darkness is definitely a different competitor. He looks to be about 6'6".
6'6", hovers right around the 170-pound mark.
Very quick. We're being joined at the table by Rocky Xavier Starr.
Rocky seems to have almost an arrogance about him now.
Well, he's very proud of his partner. He was very proud to introduce his partner. He seems to think he has found a very worthy partner for him.
Well,
so we'll see.
You know, he was bragging about a victory that he had over Bryce Anthony back in September.
Yes.
Failed to mention a loss to him at our last show.
That is true as well.
And claims he could have won this match on his own, but had to have a partner.
Well, hey, this is a tag team tournament, so
this is our first chance at seeing Darkness in Southern Wrestling Association. James Drake knocking him right on his keister off the shoulder tackle, telling him to try it one more time.
And here we go, off the rope. And bouncing back off again from James Drake, back onto his backside.
And says they're going to go for one more.
Shoots James Drake in, bring him over in the arm drag, and another one.
Second deep arm drag.
Flying the arm bar.
Picks him up. Looks to be by the hair.
Yeah.
Shoulder tackle in the corner.
Shoulder to the stomach. And again. James Drake dropped down.
They're a little close to us again.
And a double kick to James Drake's midsection. And a kick to the face as Drake
got a variation of the tarantula hold here.
And Rocky coming over to join the fun, as you'd say. And Darkness just went from where he was, dropped straight down to his feet. That tells you how tall this guy is.
It's impressive agility, too, by a man his size.
Back to an arm drag and an arm bar on James Drake. He does have impressive agility. There's a tag made to Rocky Starr. Up and over the ropes and seems a little proud of himself.
There is a match going on, Rocky.
And Rocky with an arm wringer. And James Drake with a thumb to the eye and a tag to Marshall Simmons. Takes Simmons down with an arm drag, and that one missed.
Caught him that time.
But it swept the legs. Looked like he was trying to roll him over for a...
reversed out of it with that cartwheel. Looks possibly a cloverleaf attempt. Rolls him into a pin count. Referee out of position. Count 1, 2.
And there's the kick out.
Excellent series of maneuvers between Rocky Starr and Marshall Simmons.
Back in the corner right above us here. Rocky Starr with a body slam. Taking Marshall. He's going to the top rope right above us. A senton over the top rope and drops the elbow.
Tim, that maneuver Rocky Starr refers to as the ratchet and clank. The ratchet being that dive over and then that big elbow being the clank. I don't have the heart to tell Rocky that we can't edit that into a 3 count.
He wanted it, but we couldn't do that. That was a kick out at 2. Darkness back in the ring, shoots Marshall Simmons across. And standing on his legs. Oh! What seemed like almost a curb stomp, but with his legs. That is definitely a different maneuver.
Drills him down with a slam.
And here's a pin. 1, 2, and James Drake breaks it up.
Sorry, I got so excited I turned off the microphone.
Yes, you did. Darkness has Marshall Simmons down with forearms to the back.
Man, Mafia having trouble with Darkness.
Darkness over in the corner. Springboard. And a reverse senton misses. Simmons with a
Splash.
Big splash on Darkness. Here's a pin. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. So kick out at 2 from Darkness. Marshall Simmons brings him back up. Forearms to the back. Takes him into the ropes. Across. Sit out spine buster. 1, 2.
Rocky Starr, an unusual way to break up the cover.
Rocky grabbed Sparky Sanchez's referee shirt and pulled him back and prevented him from making the 3 count. Drake back in now. Brings Darkness over in a very stiff kick to the back. Calling for one more, sits him back up. And another kick to the back. Trying to get a hold of Rocky Starr, but Rocky able to move out of the way. And a phantom tag from the Black Hand of the Mayhem Mafia. Drop kick to Darkness as he was being held by James Drake. Marshall Simmons brings him up, sets him up for a suplex. A twisting suplex, very nice from Marshall Simmons. He says it's over, we'll see. 1, 2, and a kick out on 2. Marshall Simmons seems a little frustrated here. Takes him back into the corner. James Drake has Darkness on the ropes. Ivan Righteous coming in and applying a little
tag made.
Extra incentive. Here's another phantom tag for the Black Hand of the Mayhem Mafia. Darkness up
midsection.
Trying to fight back up. Off the ropes. James Drake with a leg lariat. Taking Darkness back down.
Says it's time to take this one to the bank.
Looks like Drake's going up to the top. Going up to the top rope. He may be setting up for his moonsault. James Drake up to the top rope. And it is the moonsault. And it misses. Darkness able to move out of the way.
Oh, my.
Able to get out from under in time for James Drake to come crashing to the mat. Darkness back into the ring. James Drake may have knocked the wind out of himself. Darkness up top with a frog splash. Ow! That does not look comfortable.
How does a person fold up like that?
Darkness has folded back. That just looks horribly uncomfortable. Okay, he's straightened. That makes me feel better. He's straightened his legs out now. That just looked horribly uncomfortable.
Both men need to make the tag.
Calling over to the. There's a
both
tag to Marshall Simmons. And
clothesline by Rocky Starr. Kick to the midsection on Drake. Drop kick
to Marshall Simmons. Drake back in the corner. Big forearm from Rocky Starr. And punches to Marshall Simmons. Takes him back into the corner. Darkness going across on James Drake.
Up and over the top. No, he catches that. Oh! Enziguri, down goes Darkness.
Enziguri kick from James Drake.
Rocky Starr picked up.
Set him up for the drill bit.
Enziguri into the drill bit.
And there's the pin. 2 and 3. There's your winners. The Black Hand of the Mayhem Mafia. Making their way into the semifinals of the Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament. The Black Hand of the Mayhem Mafia.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following semifinal match in the 6th Annual Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, at a total combined weight of 420 pounds, the team of Rick Hart and the Bourbon Street St. Wicked. They are the Carolina Connection. Their opponents, at a total combined weight of 388 pounds, Sweet Ethan Case, the Southern Wrestling Association World Champion BJ Hancock, the Old School Express.
Okay, here we go. We're now into the semifinals of the Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament. The first semifinal match, Ethan Case and BJ Hancock now will take on the Carolina Connection, Wicked and Rick Hart. Carolina Connection was very impressive in their first match against Kendall Slayer and Dr. Dredd, as well as BJ Hancock and Ethan Case, as they downed Boomer and Dookie in the first round. Nothing I can help you with there. Here we go. Both of these teams are very popular with the crowd.
They certainly are. It's almost a nice show of respect there by both teams, shaking hands prior to the start of the match. It appears that Ethan Case and Rick Hart are going to start things off here. The bell sounded.
Did he just claim he was going to win in 30 seconds?
No, he just claimed that the pizza guy had 30 seconds. So I don't know if he called dominoes before the show started.
That's a good idea.
They may be expecting a quick match here against the Carolina Connection.
Ethan Case and Rick Hart tying it up. Pushing Ethan back into the corner.
Rick Hart seems to be almost toying with Ethan Case here in the early goings. And now we got a pose down.
Well, Rick Hart was posing a little coming out of the corner there, so I guess Ethan Case took this opportunity to give it right back to him. Here we go now. Collar and elbow tie up. Center of the ring into a side headlock on Rick Hart. And a takeover.
BJ Hancock standing on the apron just asked if he could do commentary. How in the world are you going to compete in the semifinals of a tournament and do color commentary?
And now he's messing with the referee's ponytail. And Rick Hart with the head scissors on Ethan Case. Applying pressure. And he's standing up. And he gets out.
Back into the headlock.
Back into the headlock on Rick Hart. It's a very impressive balance by Ethan Case, standing up on his head to escape that head scissors.
This is a very important match in the tag team tournament. The winners going on to the finals. That last step into winning this tournament.
Shooting Ethan Case across. Knocks Rick Hart down with a shoulder block. Now off the other ropes, and he slides back into that headlock.
Rookie mistake by Rick Hart. Kept his eyes off his opponent for just that split second.
He dropped down expecting him
taking
to
full advantage of it.
He expected him to leap across and hit the other ropes. Ethan Case took advantage of it, dropped right back down into that side headlock. Arm wringer and arm drag, taking Rick Hart over. Now taking a little time to pose for the crowd. Maybe a little too much time. You don't want to give Rick Hart any time to recover.
There's one thing I've learned about Ethan Case in the time I've known him. If there's a microphone, he's going to talk into it. If there's a camera, he's going to pose for it.
That is true. That is very true. Sizing each other up in the center of the ring. Rick Hart asking for a handshake. Now Ethan Case obliges with the hand.
Double tag
handshake. Double tag made. BJ Hancock and Wicked are now the legal men. And Case went and grabbed his water. I think he's going to take a little break.
This should be an interesting face-off between Wicked and BJ Hancock. BJ Hancock won the SWA World Heavyweight title from Wicked right here in this very building.
And that was the night that Wicked broke his neck.
Yes.
Wicked with hard palm shots to the midsection of BJ Hancock, trying to take him over. Takes him over and into an arm bar. Referee right on top of BJ Hancock in case he wants to give it up. Wicked brings him up with arm wringer. Punch to the face. Backs Wicked into the corner. Whips him across. Follows him in. Clothesline. Brings him back up. Snapmare takeover. Sizing him up.
Up and over with the whiplash. We made mention earlier that Wicked did suffer a broken neck in that match with BJ Hancock.
So anything that applies pressure onto his neck is going to be even doubly effective against Wicked. Ethan Case with a big boot to the ribs of Wicked and a forearm across that neck. Once again, posing for the crowd, goes off the ropes. Wicked turns it into a power bomb, a sit-out power bomb.
Right on the back of the head of Ethan Case.
Goes over, makes the tag to Rick Hart. Rick Hart now in. Wicked setting him up. A back suplex. Taking Ethan Case down. Rick Hart now brings him up. Knee to the back. Rick Hart bringing Ethan Case up. Setting him up for a suplex. Up and over.
Looked like sort of a rough landing by Ethan Case on that suplex.
And
doesn't give him time to think about the pain in his head. Goes right for the ribs.
Looked like there for a second it was hard for him to get a breath.
Those stomps aren't going to make it any easier.
And
one to the head.
Kick to the side of the head. Bringing him up out of the corner.
Going for a whip. No, decides to make the tag instead.
Making the tag to Wicked. Wicked comes in.
Shot to the back of the head.
Punches to the face. And now kicks to the midsection. Back in the corner. Wicked goes across.
Tells the ref to get out of the way. Whoa, incoming!
Coming right into our faces. The big boot across Ethan Case's face.
I don't know about
Right
you,
into
Tim.
our
I
face.
could see a shoe size from
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
A little too close for my comfort.
Wicked now whips him across off the ropes. Power slam takes Ethan Case down. Here's a pin. 1, 2, and BJ Hancock makes the save.
Excellent teamwork by the Old School Express.
There's a tag to Rick Hart. Rick Hart now in the ring. Double team move.
Drops down, super kick.
Super kick to Ethan Case. That may have knocked his lights out. Here's a pin. 1, 2, and he kick out, and BJ Hancock also in to break up the pin. Ethan Case off the ropes.
Rookie mistake. He put his head down.
Once again, yes, a rookie mistake.
Put his head down, caught in the DDT.
Rick Hart had his head down, waiting to do a backdrop on Ethan Case. Ethan Case was able to catch him and get him into the DDT. Now trying to make the tag. There's a tag to BJ Hancock and a tag to Wicked. Here they come. Forearm to the chest takes Wicked down.
Back elbow.
Back elbow also takes Wicked and Rick Hart down. Forearms to the face, shoots him into the ropes. And a leg lariat on to Wicked.
Could this be it?
Like they're setting up for a suplex.
Oh.
Double suplex on Rick Hart.
Almost into the brain buster.
1, 2, and Wicked makes the save.
Stops the count. We're pulling out all the stops in the semifinal contest.
You have to, at this point, you have to make it to win the Reimer Cup, you have to make it to the finals. To make it to the finals, you have to get through the semifinals.
Slam by Ethan Case. Says he's going up top. BJ Hancock with Wicked in the opposite corner.
Elbow to the back of BJ Hancock's head.
Runs him into the rope. Oh! Catches him. Oh!
BJ Hancock just ran into Ethan Case and knocked him off. Wicked with the DDT on to BJ Hancock. Now turning their attention to Ethan, who's up on the top rope.
Ah!
Elevated stunner onto Ethan Case. Now here's the pin. 1, 2, 3. And there's your winner, Wicked and Rick Hart. The Carolina Connection getting the win over Ethan Case and the SWA heavyweight champion, BJ Hancock. So there is our first finalist in the Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament Finals. The Carolina Connection of Wicked and Rick Hart will be in the finals. We will find out in just a minute who they will face.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a semifinal match in the 6th annual Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament. Introducing team number 1, accompanied to the ring by their manager, Ivan M. Righteous, at a total combined weight of 458 pounds, Mr. Honesty, James Drake, Marshall Simmons, the Mayhem Mafia! Their opponents at a total combined weight of 312 pounds, Shea McGrady, and the Southern Wrestling Association Southern States Champion, Mr. ADD, Jamie Lee.
Okay, here we go. The second semifinal match to determine who will face the Carolina Connection in the finals of the Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament. We've got Jamie Lee and Shea McGrady versus the Black Hand of the Mayhem Mafia, Marshall Simmons and Mr. Honesty, James Drake. It's like Jamie Lee maybe having a little trouble. Oh, he got his bling caught.
Yeah, he I think used some Valentine's candy wrappers as his own grill. I thought for a second we were going to have to call our friends over here at the EMTs to make sure everything was all right.
I got nothing to do with this.
Well, there's a little bit of jaw-jacking between Jamie Lee and James Drake. Gets this match started. We got
this match has a lot of bad blood because just 2 months ago, I believe it was, Shea McGrady was a member of the Mayhem Mafia.
Indeed he was. Jamie Lee's had his trouble with James Drake, Marshall Simmons in the past. And actually had an excellent series of matches with Shea McGrady for this Southern States Championship.
Yes, he did. Culminating in a Porta-John match, which is definitely a different kind of matchup there. Shoulder block takes Marshall Simmons down. Off the ropes. Up and over, off the other ropes. And a couple slaps to the face to Marshall Simmons. Shooting in the ropes.
Arm drag. Picks up, goes for the kick, ducks it. Enziguri
to Marshall Simmons, takes him down. Jamie Lee going for the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out on 2 from Marshall Simmons. Now James Drake up in Josh Cash's face. Jamie Lee going back over to make the tag to Shea McGrady. Shea coming in, kick to the ribs to Marshall Simmons. He sets him up. Snap suplex. Takes him over, now off the ropes.
Elbow.
Drops the elbow. There's a pin, 1, 2, and a kick out on 2.
This tag team tournament has not disappointed. We've had some excellent matches so far. The semifinals have been no different than the quarterfinals for great matches.
And this match will determine. There's a blind tag from Drake. He's now the legal man.
Ducks the clothesline. Arm drag.
Arm drag from Shea McGrady, takes him over.
We've made a huge deal about the tag team tournament tonight, which has been our focus, but also still to come is the Grand Prix Pure Wrestling title match. The new champion, the Perfect Storm, Mike McCloud, who was anticipating facing Bryce Anthony tonight.
It was supposed to be the finals of the tournament to crown a new Grand Prix Pure Wrestling champion, and Bryce Anthony was attacked by Crunk and was unable to participate in the finals tonight, so the title was awarded to Mike McCloud, but he will have to defend it tonight against an unnamed opponent. Yeah, Shea McGrady into the corner, up and over James Drake, ducks a clothesline.
Tilt-a-whirl. Just going for that deja vu DDT.
Went for the deja vu, and James Drake able to push out of it. McGrady down on the mat now. Needs to make a tag to his partner. Drake now with a cover. 1, 2, and a kick out on 2. Now choking McGrady. Making liberal use of the 5 count from referee Josh Cash. Now Jamie Lee trying to make his way in. No tag made, but a boot to the ribs on Shea McGrady. Jamie Lee's not very happy.
He's getting a little frustrated out on the apron. Oh, it looks like a variation of the abdominal stretch. Takes him down to the knee. Looks like to me like a dragon sleeper, Tim.
Yes. Choking maneuver. Lets him loose. Now forearm to the back. Shea McGrady fighting back up. Punches to the midsection on Marshall Simmons. Forces him back in the ropes. Marshall Simmons makes the tag to James Drake. Drake
is up for an atomic drop. Chop to the chest. I've got to ask you, Tim, have you ever been chopped by James Drake?
I am sad to say, yes, I have.
As have I. It's almost a...
And there's another one.
I don't want to say an initiation into wrestling, but...
Somewhat, at least into the SWA.
All right, we got count going. We got shot to the midsection. Run into the rope. Up and through the middle rope.
Outside the ring, Ivan Righteous making his presence felt. Choking Shea McGrady. Now Marshall Simmons out there as well as James Drake keeps Josh Cash occupied with Jamie Lee.
Ivan Righteous interfering out on the floor. You know, inexcusable to be attacking out on the floor like that.
Marshall Simmons back in. Setting up for suplex. And a splash for Marshall Simmons.
That standing frog splash
1,
goes for the coach.
2, and Jamie Lee breaking up the count with a boot to the side of the head.
I don't know how much more
Simmons.
Jamie Lee can take standing out on the apron and watching his partner Shea McGrady get abused here in the ring.
He's very frustrated. He wants to get in there.
Sitting on the back, almost a variation of the camel clutch. All that weight, Marshall Simmons sitting on the back, applying the pressure.
Wrenching back on his neck.
Shea McGrady struggling, trying to get to the ropes any way he can to break that hold.
He's struggling out of it.
He's trying to elbow the legs. He breaks the hold.
Marshall Simmons is out of the hold.
Now he's toying with him.
He's toying with him, getting him over to his corner, but yet not letting him make the tag. Forearm to the face. Now he shoots him across to the ropes.
Ducks, boot to the face.
And super kick from Shea McGrady onto Marshall Simmons. Now both men are down in the middle of the ring. They both need to make a tag now.
These men are already worn down from previous matches in the quarterfinals.
Both these teams, this is already their second match. But all the men are tired. Shea McGrady has taken a lot of punishment. He definitely needs to get over and make the tag. There's a tag to James Drake and a tag to Jamie Lee. Oh my goodness, a clothesline just almost beheaded Jamie Lee.
That one left me speechless. He says that's the end of it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Here's the pin, 1, 2, but Shea McGrady makes the save and prevents that from being the end of the match. Shea McGrady taking James Drake down. Ducks a clothesline from Marshall Simmons.
Head scissor, power bomb!
Power bomb from Marshall Simmons. Shea McGrady, obvious pain. Now
he caught him.
Jamie Lee set him up for the gory bomb.
Flips himself over him.
Jamie Lee sets him up and delivers the Ritalin bomb.
Oh, reverse atomic drop. Into the drill bit.
The drill bit. James Drake with the drill bit on Jamie Lee. 1, 2, and 3. There's the winner of the match and finalist in the Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament. The Black Hand of the Mayhem Mafia, James Drake and Mashall Simmons. The drill bit onto Jamie Lee was the deciding factor in this match. Now, James Drake, Mr. Honesty, James Drake and Mashall Simmons, the Black Hand of the Mayhem Mafia, will advance into the finals to face the Carolina Connection, Wicked and Rick Hart.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Southern Wrestling Association Grand Prix Pure Wrestling Championship. Introducing first the challenger from Bristol, Tennessee, weighing in at 210 pounds, former ECW superstar Chris Hamrick. His opponent, accompanied to the ring by Ivan M. Righteous from Kentsville, Missouri, weighing in at 175 pounds. He is the new, current, reigning, and defending Southern Wrestling Association Grand Prix Pure Wrestling Champion, the Perfect Storm, Mike McCloud.
Okay, here we go, folks. This is Mike McCloud's first title defense as the Grand Prix Pure Wrestling Champion. And his first title defense is going to be a big contest. Former ECW superstar Chris Hamrick will be taking on Mike McCloud. This is going to be a big test for Mike McCloud.
Tim, it is certainly going to be a test for Mike McCloud, former ECW superstar, and Chris Hamrick. Not exactly the first title defense I think that Mike McCloud had in mind.
Actually, he didn't have any title defense in mind tonight. He thought he was going to get a free pass since Bryce Anthony was hurt, and he's not wanting to give up the belt. Now Sparky Sanchez has control of the belt.
Well, Chris Hamrick seems to be ready to take a nap over here in the corner.
With all the little the histrionics from Mike McCloud, Hamrick has become a little bored. Now seems like we're going to get underway.
The bell has sound.
Ivan M. Righteous covering Mike McCloud's ears, trying to stop the Hamrick chance from getting through.
Mike McCloud trying to get the crowd rallying behind him. It is not happening here in Forest City at the Armory.
It's not going to work if he's out here with Ivan Righteous.
Hamrick tries to get an ECW chant started, and obviously the...
well, this is SWA, not ECW.
That's very true. The Hamrick chant seemed to work just a little bit better.
Yes. Mike McCloud posing for the crowd to their displeasure. And they're much...
I don't know if our microphones caught what...
I hope they didn't.
What Chris Hamrick just said in the ring about Mike McCloud. It was not very flattering, to say the least.
No, it wasn't.
If we might finally get a lockup, they finally connect.
Mike McCloud with an arm wringer on Chris Hamrick. Has control of him. And he reverses it.
Into the side, reversal, back into the air. Smack to the back of the head.
And that is a message to Mike McCloud. That's nothing but a message to Mike McCloud.
Do not take Chris Hamrick lightly. He might be. Now he's saying he pulled his hair. How do you pull the hair out of a smack to the back of the head?
I didn't see any hair being pulled. I saw a smack to the back of the head.
He may have rattled the brain of Mike McCloud a little bit.
And if you take Chris Hamrick lightly, you do it at your own peril.
Knee to the midsection.
Now into a side headlock. Hamrick pushes him to the ropes. He's taken down with a shoulder block. Mike McCloud up and over. Now Hamrick up and over.
Arm drag.
Arm drag takes Mike McCloud over, and another one.
Yep, he tried it. And a roll up. We're going to have a new champ.
2, and a kick out for Mike McCloud.
Almost had a new champion. Arm drag. Mike McCloud heads out to the floor. Ivan Emreich just right there behind him. I have to say that Mike McCloud severely underestimated Chris Hamrick in this match.
And I don't see how you can do that. You have to know that Chris Hamrick is going to be a tough contest.
Well, we got Ivan Emreich and Mike McCloud, a little meeting of the minds out on the floor.
Maybe a little strategy session. Now he looks like he's ready to get back in the ring.
Mike McCloud a little slow to get back in the ring.
Well, you can't really blame him. The series that he had here just a second ago, he was definitely caught off guard by Chris Hamrick and dominated by Chris Hamrick.
Now they're going for the tie-up again instead. McCloud with the knee to the midsection of Chris Hamrick, whips him into the ropes. Leg caught by Ivan Emreich.
Ivan attempted to grab the legs and bring Chris Hamrick
Ladies
down.
and gentlemen,
he is being ejected from a ringside area. Ivan Emreich is being
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has ejected Ivan Emreich from the ringside area.
Security is taking Ivan Emreich to the back.
Ivan Emreich not exactly happy with that. He's been thrown to the back.
Very upset about that, but the referee did the right thing.
He caught the interference. He did what was right. Very smart move on the part of the
Now
referee.
Mike McCloud is on his own. He's going to need to take care of Chris Hamrick all by himself.
The match goes out to the floor.
Going back towards the entrance.
Whip into the apron.
Whips
Oh, he goes up on the apron. Misses the kick to the
face.
Back. Moonsault.
Moonsault to the outside. Takes Mike McCloud down.
Mike McCloud down on the floor. Chris Hamrick hits that moonsault.
And there you see Chris Hamrick, high-flying Chris Hamrick, living up to his name. Now heading back to the ring. Throws Mike McCloud into the ring. Mike McCloud is in a bad way.
Chris Hamrick looks to be going up to the top again.
Going up to the top. This may be for his leg drop. No.
Oh.
Mike McCloud tried to get his foot up, but Hamrick saw it coming.
So is he going for that kick to the midsection?
It certainly looks like it. Or a kick to the rear end.
He's trying to block it. McCloud tries to block.
It's as if Hamrick,
a
knee to the lower midsection, as you would call it. Now has Mike McCloud in the surfboard.
Tied up. Got his legs and the arms tied up.
Wrenching back. Wrenching back on Mike McCloud. Referee Sparky Sanchez right on top of Mike McCloud in case he wants to give up. Now Hamrick releases the move. He voluntarily released that move.
It's unusual because there was no way McCloud was going to be able to squirm to the ropes to break the hold himself.
Got him back into the turnbuckle. And a hard shot to the chest. The crowd showing their pleasure at that hard chop to the chest.
Chris Hamrick rallying the crowd for one more chop.
I think so. And here he comes. And a thumb to the eye.
Not exactly pure wrestling there with a thumb to the eye.
Takes him back to the other turnbuckle. Quieting the crowd.
Silence here in the Armory.
Listen closely. Oh! That.
Tim, I know I asked this earlier with James J. I personally have not taken the shot from Chris Hamrick.
Neither have I. And I'm glad of that.
And after hearing those two in the ring, I'm glad that's a fact.
After that little demonstration, I'm glad I haven't taken a chop from
The
Chris
chest
Hamrick.
of Mike McCloud is beat red. Whipping to the corner.
turnbuckle.
Oh!
He
Catches
missed.
himself in the corner.
Chris Hamrick is now hanging on the second turnbuckle. Backcracker from Mike McCloud.
Backcracker takes Chris Hamrick down. Is it going for the cover? Nope.
Drags him away from the ropes.
A
A forearm to the back. And an elbow to the
Smart
back.
move by Mike McCloud working on the back of Chris Hamrick.
Applies the knee to the back. Wrenches back on the neck. Mike McCloud is very smart to take advantage after a miscue like that from Chris Hamrick. He's very smart to take advantage of that. And a knee to the back.
He's going to stay on the back.
Brings Chris Hamrick up. And a backbreaker across his knee. Here's a cover. One. And a kick out at one. There's still a lot of life left in Chris Hamrick, but Mike McCloud goes right back to work on his back.
You know, Chris Hamrick has held championships all over. You know, I'm sure he'd love to add Southern Wrestling Association's Grand Prix Pure Wrestling title to his list of championships held. I'm having difficulty understanding what the crowd's saying here at ringside. It sounds to me like they're saying Tinkerbell sucks.
I'm not sure what that means, but
I believe it's a pot shot at the Perfect Storm. He's got Hamrick bridged up, snaps him against that middle rope. Right out here in front of our photographers at ringside.
Hamrick back in the middle of the ring. And McCloud back with that knee right to the back and a kick to the back. Mike McCloud still applying the pressure to Chris Hamrick. He's going for a submission move.
I don't know if he's taken enough out of the sails of Chris Hamrick to get the victory by submission here or not.
Sparky Sanchez right there. Looks like Hamrick may be out. Hamrick may be out.
Telling the ref to check him.
There's one. Checks the arm again. There's two. If it comes down for the third time.
Nope.
And it's not. Chris Hamrick is not out. There, he's making his way back up. Make his way back up. Elbows to the midsection. Shoots McCloud off of the ropes.
Ducks it.
He ducks down, but gets a kick.
Drop kick.
Drop kick from Chris Hamrick to Mike McCloud.
Beautiful drop kick by Chris Hamrick.
But there's still a lot of cobwebs in from Hamrick. Looks like he's setting him up.
I think Chris Hamrick may be ready to finish off the Perfect Storm.
He's placed him there. Looks like he might be going back to the top rope.
Taking a quick breather. Springboard to the top rope. Moonsault.
Moonsault misses. Mike McCloud able to roll out of the way.
Misses with a top rope moonsault.
Mike McCloud going for the cover. 1, 2, and kick out at 2. And Mike McCloud back to work on the backbreaker across his knee. And again.
Back for a submission hold. Unusual, he's using his knee and the bottom part of his leg to wrench back the back of Chris Hamrick.
Applying pressure once again to his back.
Almost a modified version of the chicken wing. Now he's using his other leg.
Now he's got his leg.
Almost a head scissors.
Bringing him back up. Back into the turnbuckle.
Moves him into the corner right here in front of us. Blocks it. Oh!
Low blow.
DDT right on the head. I'm really surprised the referee using discretion here did not disqualify Mike McCloud with that low blow. Now he's going up to the top himself.
He's going up to the top.
I'm not used to seeing Mike McCloud go to the top rope.
Corkscrew moonsault misses.
That right there could be why Mike McCloud doesn't go to the top rope that often.
That might explain it.
Both men are down as the referee starts the count.
Mike McCloud starting to stir, as does Hamrick. Trying to make their way up. Referee count up to 6.
Both men are up to their hands and knees.
Now to 7.
Chris Hamrick's up. Blocks the shot. Slap to the face. And another one.
Shoots him into the ropes.
Clothesline.
Clothesline takes Mike McCloud down. Another clothesline.
Enziguri.
Here's a pin. 1, 2, and a kick out.
Kick out at 2.
We almost had a new Grand Prix Pure Wrestling champion right there. But Mike McCloud able to kick out.
It's been an excellent match for the Grand Prix Pure Wrestling Championship. I can't believe that worked.
I can't either. And
super
kick. It worked for just a second. then it turned horribly wrong for Mike McCloud. 1, 2. Oh, and a kick out. That was a very, very close to a 3 count. Mike McCloud able to get his shoulder up in the crowd.
Thought we were going to have a new champion there. He was able to kick out at the last possible second.
The crowd is
like,
not
I'm pretty
very
sure
happy.
I could see his fingertips touch with that 3, but he was able to kick out. What the hell?
Hamrick into the corner.
Not
Forearms
sure what
to the
just
back.
happened there.
Hamrick.
No!
Hamrick was trying to give a super kick to Mike McCloud. Mike McCloud moved out of the way.
We got a roll up. There's no referee to count. The referee's out. I don't know. There's nobody out here to count.
After the super kick the referee took. Boot to the stomach.
And he polish him off. Into the stunner. A suplex into the stunner. Referee step. Wait, what's this?
Another cover.
What's going on? Wait.
They're coming here.
Wait. Timeout.
Wait a minute. That's Derek Rice.
What's Derek Rice doing out here? This doesn't make any sense to me.
Chris Hamrick.
Blocks the shot. Kick. Nope. Blocked again. Goes around. Oh,
Enziguri knocks Chris Hamrick for a flip.
I don't get what is.
Now he's rolling Mike McCloud on there and waking the referee
What's
up.
going on?
I'm not sure what's going on. 1. Referee making the count. There's the 2. And Chris Hamrick kicked out at 2, even after Derek Rice came in and interfered.
I still don't understand what Derek Rice is doing here.
I don't know where Derek Rice came from, but he obviously came out to help Mike McCloud. Now he's holding Chris Hamrick in the ropes. Hamrick moves. Now he's got him rolled up. 1, 2. Mike McCloud gets out. Now he throws McCloud out to the outside on top of Derek Rice.
On the floor.
Chris Hamrick still in the ring. Mike McCloud out on the floor.
The referee's still down inside the ring. Chris Hamrick is watching his two opponents out, his one opponent, Mike McCloud. I'm still not sure what Derek Rice is doing out here.
The referee not able to administer a count out.
Towards the ring. Chris Hamrick going for a suplex.
Bringing him back in the hard way. Bringing him up and over.
Catches it down.
Derek Rice grabbed his leg and he's now holding him. And he gets the 3 count.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 15 minutes, 10 seconds, here is your winner and still Southern Wrestling Association Grand Prix Pure Wrestling Champion, the Perfect Storm, Mike McCloud.
Derek Rice grabbing the legs and then holding the legs of Chris Hamrick, allowing Mike McCloud to steal a victory here over Chris Hamrick. This has to do a lot for Mike McCloud's career. No matter how it happened, he still holds a pinfall victory over Chris Hamrick. And now Chris Hamrick is getting in the face of the referee. Obviously displeased with the ruling that Sparky Sanchez, but you must remember that Sparky Sanchez took a super kick from Chris Hamrick. So he's obviously not at his best. Chris Hamrick maybe, and a super kick. Hamrick hits referee Sparky Sanchez with the second super kick of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Hamrick!
This has not been a good match for referee Sparky Sanchez. He has taken 2 super kicks and now is being stepped on by Chris Hamrick. This has not been a good match for referee Sparky Sanchez. But your winner is Mike McCloud, and he retains the Grand Prix Pure Wrestling Championship over Chris Hamrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is your main event of the evening. Tag team action scheduled for one fall, and it is for the Southern Wrestling Association World Tag Team Championship, as well as the 2008 Reimer Cup. Introducing team number 1 with victories over the teams of Rocky, Xavier, Starr, and Darkness, as well as Shea, McGrady, and Jamie Lee, accompanied to the ring by their manager, Ivan M. Righteous, at a total combined weight of 458 pounds, Mr. Honesty, James Drake, Mashall Simmons. They are the Mayhem Mafia. Their opponents tonight, with victories over the teams of Kendall, Slayer, and Dr. Dread, as well as the Old School Express, at a total combined weight of 420 pounds, the team of Rick Hart, the Bourbon Street St. Wicked. They are the Carolina Connection.
All right, this is it, folks. This is it, the finals of the Reimer Cup Tag Team Champion. The winner of this will not only be the 2008 Reimer Cup champion, but will also be the SWA Tag Team Champions. And we've got the Mayhem Mafia, James Drake and Mashall Simmons, against the Carolina Connection, Wicked, and Rick Hart.
Neither one of these teams, Tim, had an easy ride getting here to the finals. As I made mention in the introductions, the Mayhem Mafia had victories over Rocky, Xavier, Starr, and Darkness, as well as Shea, McGrady, and Jamie Lee to get here.
Both hard-fought victories.
The Carolina Connection had to go through Kendall, Slayer, and Dr. Dread in the opening round, and the Old School Express in the semifinals. Two other great tag teams.
Absolutely. James Drake starts off with a rake to the eye. Hard punches pushing Rick Hart back to the turnbuckle. A chop, an elbow, and another chop. Now
adding
Rick Hart
a little bit of color
out
to the chest of Rick Hart.
Kicks to the midsection from Rick Hart. Punches to the head. This is getting vicious really quickly. Rick Hart into the turnbuckle, moves out of the way. James Drake
Head scissor
takeover. Rick Hart giving James Drake everything he wants and more. Now a tag to Wicked as Wicked makes his way into the ring.
I think James Drake may have underestimated the rookie, Rick Hart. Super kick.
Super kick to Wicked, takes Wicked down.
I think those shots by Rick Hart may have weakened the legs of James Drake. He hit the super kick and then collapsed.
Pushing Wicked back to the ropes. Brings him off.
Drop toe hold.
And a leg drop to the back of Wicked. Back onto that neck that we were talking about earlier. Wicked's injured neck will most probably be the focus tonight by the black hand of the Mayhem Mafia. Drake now with Wicked back in the
referee distracted by Mashall Simmons.
Elbow to the top of the head takes Wicked down.
James Drake now having words with Josh Cash.
Now Mashall Simmons taking advantage of Josh Cash's back being turned, choking Wicked over in the corner. Now James Drake brings him up.
Shot to the midsection by Wicked.
Another elbow.
Tosses Wicked out to the floor. He lands on his feet. It also lands right out in front of Mashall Simmons and Ivan
Righteous, who takes his opportunity to take a shot. Now Mashall Simmons with kicks to Wicked's back as he's there. Josh Cash is over, making sure Rick Hart doesn't get in the ring, and he's missing this extracurricular activity out here outside the ring. Now back in the ring, Mashall Simmons, forearms to the back of Wicked.
I just heard an interesting comment made by a fan behind me who's flat out said it isn't cheating if you're not caught.
That is a good point. That's a good point. Mashall Simmons off the ropes. Drop kick to Wicked as he was laying in the turnbuckle there. Now he brings him up.
Both of these teams are going to do whatever it takes to win the Tag Team Championship and the Reimer Cup.
Brings Wicked over. Now reversal. Mashall Simmons back in the turnbuckle. Here comes Wicked. Knee to the face.
Ducks the clothesline. Enziguri.
Enziguri to Wicked's back. Didn't quite make it to the back of his head, but he did hit him right in the back.
Wicked trying to make the tag, was headed towards the wrong corner. James Drake comes in. Picks him up, reverse atomic drop. That one connected.
And now an elbow to Rick Hart on the turnbuckle. Now Rick Hart trying to come in. James Drake taking the opportunity to choke Wicked.
He's trying to get to the ropes. He's begging for help. We can't do anything here at ringside.
And he's got him.
Choking him right here in front of us.
Got him draped over the ropes. Making liberal use once again of the 5 count. Now Mashall Simmons with a boot to the head as soon as Josh Cash turns his back.
Supplying that weight on the back of the head, choking him on that middle rope.
The Mayhem Mafia doing a good job of redirecting Josh Cash and taking advantage of those opportunities when they have them. He ducked the chop and gave Drake one of his own.
I think it took Drake by surprise with that chop.
Well, Drake is not used to being chopped. He's used to chopping.
Certainly is.
Wicked unable to get over to his corner to make a tag. James Drake with a hold of the Mohawk, takes him over, and a kick to the back. They're still keeping the focus on Wicked's back and his neck. The neck that was broken several months ago.
Tag made. He's going to powerbomb his partner. No, up and over, slams him down. Excellent teamwork by the Mayhem Mafia.
That was an impressive move.
5 minutes gone by in this final round match. 5 minutes gone by.
Mashall Simmons, forearms to the back of Wicked. Wicked fighting back up. Shoots him off the rope.
Power slam.
Power slam takes him over. Now goes for the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 by Mashall Simmons. Wicked needs to get over his corner and make a tag to Rick Hart.
It appears that both men are in need of the tag. Mashall gets up to his drop kick.
Drop kick to the side of Wicked's head. Now forearms to the back. It looked like there for a second Mashall Simmons was going to go for the pin. He decided to go back to the punishment. Continuing to weaken Wicked.
Got him against the rope. Whips him off. Reversal by Wicked. Catches him up.
Choke slam. Now Wicked needs to take advantage. He needs to get over to Rick Hart. He needs to make his tag. Both men are down. Referee administering the count. He's up to 4. Both men need a tag. Wicked stirring now. He's making his way over to Rick Hart. Mashall Simmons now making his way.
Roll over, tag made.
Double
Rick
tag.
Hart comes in against Drake. Clothesline takes him down. Forearm shot takes Mashall Simmons down. Waylaying both men with forearms. Ducks that one. Up. Fireman's carry. Fireman's carry. Oh!
Double knees to the stomach on Rick Hart. Now James Drake.
Drake has got Wicked in the court. I don't know what this is going to lead to. Drake going back at the
Looks
top.
like
We saw
he's
him go to
going
the
up
top
to the top.
in an earlier match with that moonsault that missed.
And it didn't work well, so I'm not sure what he has
I
planned.
don't know what he's going for
He's not.
here.
Off the top rope.
Oh, senton misses.
Senton misses. James Drake slams down in the middle of the ring. Wicked able to move out of the way. Now Mashall Simmons with Ivan
Behind the
Righteous's
referee's
cane.
back.
He had Ivan Righteous's cane.
We got to roll it. 1, 2, 3.
3. And that is it, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen,
After
in
Mashall
7 minutes,
Simmons
26 seconds, here are your
Ivan
winners.
Righteous's
And
cane.
not only the winners of the Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament, but the new Southern Wrestling Association World Tag Team Champions, the Mayhem Mafia.
And there you go, folks. There you hear it. The black hand of the Mayhem Mafia, James Drake and Mashall Simmons, after Marshall Simmons got Ivan Righteous's cane and used it on Wicked, they were able to steal a victory here in the 2008 Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament. They are now the Reimer Cup champions and also the SWA Tag Team champions. Wicked and Rick Hart, the Carolina Connection. Now Ivan Righteous,
ladies
Mike
and
McCloud
gentlemen, at this time,
joins
I would
them in
ask
the
that
ring
the former holder of the tag team titles, Bug,
to
makes his way
celebrate
out
their
here
victory.
to present the tag team championship as well as the trophy to the winners of the Reimer Cup tournament.
And now last year's winner, Thug and Jeff Hamrick. I believe only Thug is in attendance here. They are going to come out and present the trophy and the belts to the new winners, the Reimer Cup tournament winners and the new SWA Tag Team champions. There's the trophy. There is the Reimer Cup. There is the
Ladies
Reimer
and
Cup.
gentlemen, the 2008 Reimer Cup winners and the new World Tag Team Champions, the Mayhem Mafia.
And there they are, folks. There they are. The Black Hand of the Mayhem Mafia are the new SWA Tag Team Champions and the winner of the 2008 Reimer Cup Tag Team Tournament. And you can see the emotion on James Drake's face. The story of the night is the new SWA Tag Team Champions and the 2008 Reimer Cup champions, the Mayhem Mafia. James Drake and Marshall Simmons, the Black Hand of the Mayhem Mafia, are able to take the Reimer Cup championship and the SWA Tag Team Championship. That's going to do it for us here tonight at the Reimer Cup Championship. On behalf of my colleague Brett Wolverton, this is Tim Dixon saying thanks, and we'll see you at the matches.